Hello, everyone. This is Aisha. Welcome to week 2 of your Mastering the Basics course. We are so excited to move into week 2, and we have a great class for you planned today. But first, I just wanted to review a couple of things before we get started. First of all, I want to acknowledge that the resources that we're pulling from, we talked a lot about pulling from things that we've learned from Elise Sedevy and giving her credit for the wisdom and the experience that we've learned that we get to pass on to you. But I also want to acknowledge that a part of this training is also coming from Emerge, the Emerge Sales Training. I know some of you have taken that training directly with Tasha. And if you haven't, she has some really great podcasts and really great resources. And so a lot of our information is also coming from that resource. So just want to make sure that that is acknowledged. And then, of course, it is also the experience of myself, of Josie, and of Haley from building our own businesses and kind of culminating all of this information and hopefully bringing it to you in a very succinct and easily digestible manner, so you can take the information and have immediate success in building your business. As many of you know, we've been through, especially if you've been around for a while, we've been through all kinds of training systems and and we're always doing our best to bring you the very best. And sometimes there is trial and error with that. But what I am really loving about what we're teaching in the 6 weeks is it's really not about a system. It's not about needing to go out and buy a bunch of tear sheets. It's about how to have effective communications that lead towards sales, that lead towards serving your customer, that lead towards inviting business builders. And these scripts can be implemented with any tear sheet or system that you might hop on board with. So as many of you may know or may not know, doTERRA has actually purchased the Share Success system, and they will be rolling out more information about that. So even if that does come down the pike, rather than getting confused and not knowing what to do or what to follow, know that the skill set that we're teaching you applies across the board, and that the more you can master this skill set in these conversations, the more it will accelerate your success. So we're very excited about that. And so with that, we are asking you to, one, show up live for this class and to be present and to have your cameras on so you can participate. And Pepper agrees. She's here live. She wants you all to know that. You hear her barking in the background. And we also know that life happens and sometimes you need exceptions. So if you're unable to be here live, if you have some circumstances where you can't turn your camera on, then just let your upline sponsor know so they know what's going on. And then we also are asking that you post every week. I will put I'll create a meme that says what week it is with the homework above the meme. And that we ask that you comment on the meme when your homework is finished, and that you commit to finishing the weekly action steps. If you want to get the most out of this training and move forward in your business and hit your goals and create success in your life, then it's absolutely critical that you take what we're teaching you and apply it. And that we're actually asking that if you do not complete your homework, that you don't actually move forward with the course, because you'll start to get behind, and you really it will keep you from moving forward. So again, with that said, if you have circumstances and life happens, talk to your upline mentor. This isn't about us trying to be mean or cracking the whip, but it's about holding you accountable and asking that you participate. I see a lot of people show up for these kind of trainings and they don't actually ever really participate or do what's asked of them. And then I hear them complaining that their business isn't moving forward. Now, some things that we ask you to do might feel uncomfortable or they might feel awkward. And that's normal, and it's part of the growing process. So if there's something that you're getting stuck with, or if there's something you're feeling a lot of resistance to, then that is typically an indicator that it is the perfect thing for you to walk into for your growth. But it's also a good time to reach out for support from your upline and talk through it, because we're all here to support one another. And so we don't want anybody shutting down and quitting and not getting the support they need to move forward. And we all know what it means to get uncomfortable and to fail. And to be successful in this business, one, you must get uncomfortable, and two, you must be willing to fail over and over and over again. And that's how you ultimately get to the top, is you just keep failing. And over time, it gets easier and you keep moving forward. So with that said, I'm going to pass it on over to Haley, and she is going to review what the week 1 homework was. And we are going to practice some of those intros that we had all of you kind of get together last week. So Haley, I'm going to pass it on over to you.
Perfect. Thank you. So our homework then was to categorize your 100s names list using the different descriptors that Aisha posted for you in the group. So I hope everybody was able to do that and send that to your upline. That was your number one thing, was categorizing that. I also wanted you to complete your hero formula for your story and have it within 2 minutes. So it's always got to be within 2 minutes. And just to review, the purpose for that is we really are here to show up for other people, and we don't want to waste their time talking about us, even if we have a brilliant, amazing story to share. So I actually, hopefully everybody in this group has completed that, because I am going to ask Lynn Grace if she is willing to share her hero story here.
All right. I was a little bit confused in the beginning. I wasn't sure if it was supposed to be more towards why I started the business, or whether it was more focused on the oils themselves. So my hero speech is about the oils themselves. Okay. So I'm chatting with the person, and I'm telling them about the oils, and I say, well, my aha moment was when my horse I found her having a severe colic. She was down and rolling, and I used Digestin, and it stopped. In the past, she has colicked severely, and I had to take her to UC Davis, and I had a vet bill of $8,000. But since then, every time she's colicked, I've used Digestin. It stops. No more walking for 8 hours, and no more walking in the middle of the night, and no more vet bills.
I love that. Okay, so that story, if I walk up to you and in public, I'm just seeing you use oils, and I ask you, hey, what are those oils you're using? How did you end up getting started using these? What would you tell me?
Oh, I was being a really good friend, and I went to an oils meeting because somebody wanted me to learn about them. And I went, and I had an amazing experience, and I walked away and started using the oils, and had a horse colic and stopped colic in less than a half an hour. And now I don't have vet bills, and I don't have to walk my horse for 8 hours.
Love it. I love that you ended on that high, so that we had a turnaround experience, exactly that. And we never want to end on this bad place that we were, this experience that was tragic or traumatic. We came back up with doTERRA. That was great. I love that.
Yay.
Thank you for sharing that. Okay, I'm coming to Karen Evans. Can you share with us your hero story? Aisha, are you able to unmute her?
There, can you hear me?
Yes, go for it.
Okay, sorry. So my hero story is that I love how doTERRA has not only changed my health, but also our lifestyle. I used to just reach for a pill or over-the-counter medicine without any hesitation. I was overweight. I had food allergy issues. I was on medication and anxiety medication, and completely unhealthy.
One sec, Karen. We have a little bit of background noise. Are you able to mute everyone? Okay, sure. If everybody can just mute themselves as they're on the call, that would be super helpful. Go ahead, Karen.
That's okay. I'll just backtrack a bit.
Perfect.
So
if you can actually start over, totally start over. Go.
Sure. Okay. So I love how doTERRA has not only changed my health, but has also changed our lifestyle. I used to just reach for a pill or go to any over-the-counter medicines without hesitation if I had a health issue. I was overweight and had food allergies. I was on medication for depression and anxiety, and I was just overall unhealthy and felt yucky a lot of the times, but I was just used to that feeling. I just thought it was kind of normal. But once I was introduced to doTERRA, and through the use of the oils and the supplements daily, I felt totally empowered to get to the root cause of all my health issues. And I've been able to fully manage them 100% naturally. I've also saved tons of money while also being on the path to financial freedom, which is super exciting. And doTERRA has truly just been life-changing for myself and my husband and my extended friends and family.
Perfect. And then at the very end, you're going to share your high part about why you're here sharing oils. What would you say to that?
Well, I guess I was thinking it kind of was that I'm just, I'm used to, now I don't have to spend so much money going to the pharmacy. I don't need to constantly be thinking I need to go purchase something. I've got my arsenal of oils here at home with me, and they're readily available.
Perfect. And so what I mean by that is you have a beautiful turnaround, and it's a great experience for you. So at the very end of every part that we talk about our story, we want to say how we're there for them and how we're going to help them. So we just spent this little bit of time saying how it's changed your life, and now you don't have to do all of these things that have been difficult. But people in the audience or people that you're talking to are sitting there wondering, how are you applying that to me? Why are you here? How are you going to help me with it? So I would always encourage you at the end of your story to say, so I'm excited to share this with you because I would love to give you an experience in your life and your health and wellness in the same way that I've experienced it. Or possibly in a class setting, you might say, I'm becoming more financially free and I want to share this opportunity with every one of you so that you potentially have that exact same experience. And so we're saying at the very end, we've had a wonderful, profound thing happen through doTERRA, and it has changed our lives. And now we're here sharing it with you because we want all of you to have that exact same experience or opportunity to experience, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Just go ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Haley, can I comment?
Absolutely.
Yeah. One of the things I think I've really been appreciating from some of the Emerge training is the idea of really remembering to keep our focus not on ourselves, but on the person that we're talking to. So always it's customer first. And so when we get into our stories and our hero stories and stuff, just keep remembering that you don't want to TMI them. So it depends on if you're like standing in front of, in a class, you have a little bit more time to say more than one thing. But do you agree, Haley, you want to have a couple different stories? Because generally in each one, these are the things that you're in an elevator, you're in the checkout line, you've just met someone, they don't know you and they don't want to hear 5 things about you. They want to hear maybe one thing. So it's like, have a different one where it's like, this is the thing about the finances. Here's about, this is what it helped me with my hormones. Because they're saying, you smell so great in the checkout line. What is that? Oh, it's Claricom. Thank you. It's my perfume, but actually it helps balance my hormones. That could be it. So just keep remembering that, that old adage, what is it?
be interested, not interesting. So keep the focus of each of your stories to kind of one piece of information about how the oils have changed your life or doTERRA, and really short. And then what Haley was just ending there with turning it back around to how it's going to help or could help them.
Yes, perfect. Thank you for that.
Yeah.
And Josie's right. We don't want to overwhelm them with, this has changed all of these different things. Maybe that's possibly a lot of information for someone, but you never know which piece of your story is going to be the one that grabs them and inspiring to them. So I would encourage you to share whatever comes up for you, because it is your story. Nobody can change that. It's super personal to you. Just keep it within that 2 minutes, because you can share a lot in 2 minutes, or you can share way too much in 10 minutes. And as we'll learn in our class, when we teach a class, you're closing a class in 40 minutes. If you waste 10 minutes of your class talking about you, you've cut greatly down on the amount of information you can share with the people who've attended there to get information on how you're going to serve them. So we're here in the acts of service, not about us. And it's really hard to not talk about ourselves, I'll tell you that. But anytime you feel like you want to share something about yourself, shut it down. Stop it.
I think when I have to say when the story that I usually would tell in a class would be just a lot more simple, where I would say how I just love the fact that I don't have a medicine cabinet anymore. I have just a arsenal of oils, and that I'm super proud to say that we strictly just use the oils in our house, and how that saved us money and that sort of thing, and kept it more just about that. But and then lately, when I've been doing one-on-ones, I feel I don't even share a story like that. I'm just fully engaged in them with my notes, and I'm saying, what else do you need support with? And I'm going through it with them. So I'm really focused on them. I haven't even brought up my story when I'm doing one-on-ones. So, and I'm assuming that I don't have to bring that up, but if they ask me, maybe, but I don't feel like I want to kind of throw out my story unless it's necessary in a one-on-one.
Perfect. Yes.
Is
So it
that
comes
good?
up,
Okay.
typically
Great.
it comes up before you schedule a one-on-one, and that's where the connection is, when they want to schedule one with you because they've just heard your story. Or
Yeah.
in front of a class, we always have a reason why we're here sharing, because typically it's a lot of people that we maybe don't know or have very briefly been introduced to. So
Yeah.
you always just want to have this prepared for when somebody asks you, because if you don't have it prepared, that's how you get into trouble and you spiral into 10-minute stories about all of the things that you've used oils for. And then you go into, you should try them and you should try this. And then we blast them with all of the information, and then they're running away. So we want to really get rid of that habit. Having something prepared and practiced is a really good way to have that minimized.
Okay, good.
So thank you for sharing, Karen.
Yeah, thank you for all that.
So
Hey,
I want
Haley,
to, yes,
Can I just interject just one last thing here?
perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
One thing too that I really love to keep in mind when you're sharing the story is to have universals in your story. There are a lot of things that a lot of people can relate to. And so, for instance, I used to share a very long story before I knew better about having Lyme disease. And some people could relate to that, but most people couldn't. But what people could relate to was exhaustion, fatigue, brain fog, being ill. And so if you can take your story, especially if it's a health story, which is specific, and break it down to some of the symptoms that you know that a lot of people might be suffering from. Because if your story is relatable and you can hook into something that they're possibly suffering from too, that's definitely going to create an interest in them, if that makes sense. And then also,
Yes.
you kind of said before, but also to stress, this story can change given the audience. You might have a new story every week given your essential oil use. So it's really, if you're in a class or if you know somebody and you know something about them, and of course we don't always know that, but if you can pull a story out, like if you know that they have kids, maybe share a story about how you've used the essential oils with your children, or, just kind of keep that in mind to do your best to find commonalities with who you're sharing the story with in order to create interest in what you're having to say. And then, yes, keeping this short, brief, to the point, because at the end of the day, they really don't want to hear about all of your health problems and your health struggles. They want the focus to be on them. And I think that is one of the biggest takeaways from this that's really important. And I even think less than 2 minutes is even better. 2 minutes is your max, but if you can keep it a couple sentences, that's really all it needs to be. Okay, next topic, Haley.
Thank you for that. Yes. So it's a really great point. We're not minimizing any of your stories or saying that they're any less profound than someone else's, but we do want you to understand that not everybody sitting in your audience is necessarily going to relate to a big disease or cancer, any of those things. They're sitting there thinking, it's wonderful that it helped you, but I don't know how you're going to help me. So we really want to focus on commonalities and different universal things, like Aisha said. Great point. So today what we're going to walk you through, it's going to be kind of a heavy next hour, so be prepared to take notes, but we're going to learn a little touch. I'm just going to touch a little bit on how to sample, and then we're going to jump right into how to do your one-on-one and exactly that format, and we'll give you some scripting and different things to use. And then Aisha and Josie are going to walk you through how to invite to a class if you're wanting to invite to a class alongside these one-on-ones. So I don't necessarily sample people all the time. It's one of the few things that I don't do. I think samples are very effective when they're done right, but I don't necessarily encourage it. So I want to let you guys know that if you choose to sample, if that's something you love doing, if you just really love to give and you want people to have an experience before they come to a class or one-on-one with you, great. But I want to make sure you know how to do it right. Because I guarantee whether you're seasoned or brand new, you might be feeling somebody tells you they have an issue and you want to give them 10 oils to try or 5 oils to try. And then you don't really tell them how to use it. Or let's say somebody says, I have allergies. So you give them lemon, lavender, peppermint, and you tell them what to do with it. That's 3 things. They don't speak doTERRA. They don't know anything about oils yet or oil safety yet. When they get home, they're going to remember you gave these for allergies, but they have no idea what to do with it. There's 3 things. Was it the peppermint? Was it them together? Am I supposed to put it on topically? Do I drink it out of this vial? It's too much. So what we do when we sample is you sample one thing. 1 oil for an immediate need. So when I say 1 oil, I want you to stay within the top 10. So those are samples like Digestin for digestive, Breathe for respiratory, lavender for sleep. Don't sample things like frankincense or Melissa or helichrysum. We don't want people to think, oh my gosh, I fell in love with frankincense. Hold on, it's $70. Are you joking? Run. We don't want people to have that experience. So stay within top 10 oil that people can have an immediate response to. So if they say to you, I am really struggling with sleep and digestive stuff, and I have crazy allergies, and I have all these other things. Let's say they give you a list of 10 ailments. In your brain, I guarantee, tell me if I'm wrong, that you're thinking, okay, lavender for sleep and peppermint and lemon I can add in for allergies, and I can give them this other thing for that one. And you're running through all of these different things versus here's your question to them. Okay, so out of all of those, if you could just work on one of those things right now, what's the one at the top of your list you want to take care of? So we want to narrow it down for them to one thing that we can sample for. So whether they put sleep as the top of the priority, whether they put allergies at the top of the priority, whatever it is for them, we're sampling them with one thing. So your scripts will stay the same. So this is going to work really well for you guys when you are sampling. Because if you run into somebody who, let's say, tells you they have a headache, you are going to do your exact same script on how to share oils. Have you tried something natural for that? Your first question, right? Or if they say yes, your next question is, what do you know about essential oils? If they tell you then what they know about essential oils, you then suggest, well, I have something that might really help you that's natural. Are you willing to try that? Are you open to trying that? And that's where you can give them a sample. So here's the most important part about sampling. How many of you have sampled, raise your hand, and not followed up with these people? We're all guilty of it. I'll put 2 hands up. I sample people all over the place and then I never call them back. So what point are we doing just throwing away oils and not helping them use them? So your next question or next statement to them is going to be, not every single essential oil responds to every person the same. Everyone's body chemistry is different. So would it be okay if I followed up with you in a couple of days to make sure this worked for you? And the whole purpose of this one question and statement combination is we're telling them that we are going to follow up with them and asking permission to do so. So they're not thinking when they get a phone call from us in 3 days that we're stalking them. How many people think, I'm going to feel sold to? They gave me a sample and they're calling me because they want me to buy stuff. That's not why we're calling. We're actually calling because we care about you and we want to make sure what we gave you worked for you. Because it's possible that it didn't, and we want to give you something that does. So you have your scripts for how to introduce the oils to them, and then you give them the sample, and then you're going to ask to schedule a follow-up with them. And it's always around, I want to make sure this worked for you. So there is more in-depth scripting that we have available to you guys for how to effectively sample and follow up with that, and perfect scripts on what your follow-up phone call will look like. Aisha and Josie have graciously created a webinar for all of us based on Elise's effective sampling. So we will post that video for you to go check out. But if you're in the 6 weeks to Elise or in a bonus program within this training, sampling is a huge part of the beginning of it. So we want to get you connected to that video so you can really jump on that. But just everybody else in general who starts business or duplicating this in your teams, just sample one thing and use these scripts to schedule a follow-up. Because that's how you get them on the phone. And if they've had an experience with it, then you can schedule your one-on-one. So if they say, I'm going to give you a real quick scenario, you sample peppermint, you ask them if it was okay to follow up with them, and they said, of course. So you called them and you're checking in with them, and they said, oh my gosh, it worked. I loved it. How do I get this peppermint? Then what do you guys think we say? What I usually do is I schedule a 30-minute appointment. We go over your health goals and concerns, and you go right into your script every single time. And so now you've scheduled a one-on-one off of your sample. And at the end of this call, Josie and Aisha will also give you a script for how to schedule to a class. But that is your script all the time. So you're never thinking in your head, well, you can go on my website and you can get peppermint, or there's a couple of ways to get them. You can get a kit. And don't do that. Stop it. Shut it down. Schedule every single time. Schedule an appointment. Every single time. So don't be prepared to blast them with information. Has everybody got that? Schedule appointments. So what do you guys think then if you schedule your one-on-one now? What do you think we do in a one-on-one? I am going to ask Sheila to tell me what you think we do in a one-on-one. We do three things.
We do three things. We show up for them. We give them a brief overview of a tear pad. And this is what I do. And then I ask them where they're at next, if they want to proceed forward or.
Okay, great. So that's what I wanted to hear from you, was a little bit, everybody probably has a very different version of what they do in a one-on-one, is my point for that question. So think about your script. Now, what are the three things that you do in a one-on-one?
My scripts, let's see. I'm sorry, I have to get to my notes so quick.
Okay, so what I usually do is I schedule a 30-minute appointment and I go over your health goals and concerns. That's
Right.
the first thing we do in a one-on-one.
Right,
We talk a little bit about the company. That's the
Right.
second thing we do in a one-on-one.
right,
And I'll tell you a little bit about our most popular kits. Third thing. So we've already told them the three things that we do on a one-on-one. Then when they show up to a one, we do those exact three things,
right.
just like that, all day long. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's what I said in different words.
Okay,
Show up
great.
for
Awesome.
them, that's their health concerns, yeah.
Perfect. So everybody now knows how to do a one-on-one and what we're going to do in a one-on-one. So I'm going to walk you through, if you want to take notes, what your one-on-one agenda will look like. So when you show up to a one-on-one with someone, you always want to review the agenda with them. We don't want them to think, am I sitting down for an hour, 2 hours? They might have forgotten what you had said to them when you scheduled it. They just know that they're showing to figure out ways that they can tackle some of their health goals and concerns with you. So you're going to review with them. Okay, so what we're going to go over with today, I'm super excited to share with you. It's probably going to take about 30, 45 minutes, so please help me stay on track with time if you have another appointment after this. If you know, I'm going to give you a hint right here. You know that somebody you're meeting with is one of those people that will tangent and squiggle and squirrel all over the place on you, and you're like, this is going to be a 3-hour thing if I meet with them. Tell them you have an appointment right afterwards. Whether you do or you don't, say, I actually have an appointment in an hour, so I only have 45 minutes that we can spend here, so I really want to make sure I am here to help you. And tell them the time. This is your way of keeping on track. You have another you have to go to. So you're going to let them know at the beginning of your one-on-one. This is going to take about 30 to 45 minutes. We're going to go over some of your goals and concerns. I'll tell you a little bit about doTERRA and why I choose to use doTERRA. And then I'll tell you, of course, about our most popular kits. But remember, there's no obligation to buy. But of course, if you see something you like, I'm going to help you get it. So exactly, we review that exact same script with them right up front so they know what they're going into. And then this is the question you're going to ask them after you do that exact thing I just did. You're going to say, okay, so what are we working on? That's your question, word for word. So what are we working on? Not what are you working on? Not give me a list of your health goals. What are we working on? And let them tell you. So they might run through a million things. They might say one thing. They might feel like they don't want to waste your time, so they might limit themselves to only sharing 5 things. We want to encourage them to share as much as possible. So if they say, well, it's just digestive and it's some headaches and I just want to help my kiddo sleep, those are what I'm trying to work on. Your next question after what are we working on, and they've given you some, is what else? You're going to keep saying what else until they have nothing left. So you can ask leading questions like, what about your husband? You can ask, what about your digestive support? How do you sleep at night? Any of those questions are fine. But you want to keep saying what else. We want to keep them telling us. Because whether we know it or not, when we meet with somebody, we always feel like we don't want to waste their time. So we limit what we share. So even if you have all these other things, you're like, I really want to tell you that I'm struggling with anxiety and all of these other things too, but I don't really want to take up all your time. Encourage them to do that. That's why you're there, to help them. So keep saying what else. So your purpose in this whole part is to have your notepad with you, and you're going to be writing an oil out of the top 10 that match that health concern. In 10. You're going to take to a one-on-one. People said they take a tear sheet. Some people say they take all these things. You're taking a notepad, top 10 oils, and a diffuser. You can bring your vitamins too if you want to, but that's it. No tear sheet, no class sheet, none of it. Just your top 10 oils and a notepad is the minimum you need to take. And bring a diffuser or your vitamins also if you want. Don't bring in every oil kit. Super distracting. Don't bring all these other products. Top 10, that's it. So if you guys have a family essentials kit handy, I actually took that with me to classes because what's on the inside of that box? A list of everything that those top 10 oils are used for. So some of us are super seasoned and we can just pull out anything about what those oils are good for. But if you're brand new, you have no clue. You can't remember. You might be thinking, I know that I have tried this one thing. This is my first one-on-one and I've had oils for 5 minutes. So if you have a reference of just what a few things that the top 10 are good for, this will be a good guidance for you. That's all you have to know, is what the top 10 oils are good for, common things. So as they are listing their health goals, and you are writing on your notepad the oil out of the top 10 that matches. And Leah just asked a question about virtual appointments. Perfect. So if you're in a virtual appointment, no oils are needed. You're just going health goals and concerns. They don't ever have to smell an oil. You are selling the destination, not the airplane. You're selling sleep. You're selling digestive support and health. You're selling a solution for allergies. You're not selling the smell of peppermint or the smell of lavender or any of those things. A distraction. This is a distraction. I don't like it. I really need deep blue for cramps, but I don't like the smell of it. Well, do you want the cramps to go away or are you worried about the smell? So we really want to focus on the solution, not the distraction of the smell. Great question, Leah. So once you guys have been writing your notes on your notepad for top 10, let's say they say anxiety is one of their health goals. Your first thought might go to an oil outside of the top 10. It might go to Serenity, it might go to Balance, it might go to Bergamot, it might go to Vetiver, all these things. It's not in the top 10. What out of the top 10 can you start with for anxiety? Lavender. So you start one in the top 10, because our conversation is always, if this doesn't work for you, there are other oils that we can try, because everyone's body chemistry is different. So we always want to start them off in the top 10, because lavender can be very effective for that for certain people. So always relate it back to the top 10. If it's something that isn't targeted by the top 10, focus on the ones that are top 10. Okay, so here's what I want you to do next. After you've made your list and you have just written out the different top 10 oils that work for that, you're then going to tell them, okay, so I want to tell you a little bit really quick why I choose to use doTERRA. Before you even offer solutions, you want to tell them why you chose doTERRA. So you have your list already. Say, these are some of the reasons why I choose doTERRA. I want you to share 2 things, whatever version of it is for you. Talk about purity and potency, and talk about co-impact sourcing. 2 most important things about the company. So some of you might be really passionate about the humanitarian efforts and all of those, but I don't want you to spend a ton of time except to talk about why the products are amazing, why these stand apart from everything else. So purity and potency and co-impact sourcing.
Can I just interject here, Haley, quickly?
Yes, please. Yep.
You know, we all know and love all the details about CPTG, and can probably all ramble on and on about our certified pure therapeutic grade oils and all the amazing scientists and how they're grown locally and tested, and they go through 7 different tests and blah-de-da-de-da-de-da, right? You all know how to have this conversation. This is not the time to have that conversation, and you can simply talk about how pure and potent the oils are, and the deeper information about CPTG can come at another time. So I just wanted to point out that we really want to stay away from overloading them with too much information. So really key, and really can't stress that enough, especially for those that have been doing this for a long time. For all of you that are new, this is so awesome because you're just learning. So we don't need to unteach you bad habits. So, okay, Haley, back over to you.
Actually, Aish, do you want to give us a quick what you would say in that part?
I would say, just kind of mimicking just what you said, I would say the doTERRA oils are the purest and most therapeutically potent on the market. And we have direct relationships with the growers, so there's no middleman, and everybody is being fairly compensated. And I love being part of a company that is so ethical and doing good things in the world. There's
Perfect.
My quick off the top of my head answer.
That was brilliant. So do you feel how that's just, we're not overloading them? Because when you go so far into CPTG and every testing, it almost feels like if I was on the other end of it, okay, I get it. They're super pure. And we're almost trying to convince them, even though they're already convinced. Do you ever feel like somebody's like, you should buy this, you should buy this? And you're like, I already said I would buy it 10 minutes ago. Stop telling me that I should keep buying it. So that's what this is. We already know by sharing that they're super pure and potent, so let them sit with that.
Another thing too to add in is that we all are very comfortable with doTERRA speak and all the acronyms, LRP, CPTG, PV, OV. Nobody knows what the heck we're talking about. And so we really want to refrain from using that language with somebody that is brand new. It's like speaking a foreign language to them, and it actually kind of will make them feel excluded and possibly dumb, and like they're afraid to ask what it is you're talking about. And so again, these are all things that that I've done and I'm guilty of, but it's something to be very mindful. And or if you use the acronym, to then let them know LLV, which is our lifelong vitality pack, and let them know. And we say short LLV, explain it to them in that moment. So just another thing to be aware of.
In that
Go ahead,
vein,
Jess.
I know I don't want to go on, but at the same time, also be mindful of the language around the business and people, saying upline, downline, and that kind of a thing.
Mhm.
If you're ever introducing us, if it's a three-way call, for someone in the beginning, we're all business partners. So I don't know, but that's what when I talk about anyone else I'm working with, I say this is a business partner of mine.
Perfect. Yes, languaging is very important. Be sensitive to that.
And this is a pet peeve, like I said, but we don't do doTERRA. Do you ever hear a lawyer saying, I do law? A doctor saying, I do medicine. So just think about your languaging when you say, I do doTERRA. That's another thing too. You're in a business, you have a business, and you sell essential oils.
Yes.
And you
You
educate
sell essential
people.
oils and you help people learn about how to use them for their health goals and concerns.
Okay.
Beautiful. Thank you, Jess. So now that we have talked about two most important things, purity, potency, and co-impact sourcing, whatever version you choose to use, whatever feels comfortable, whatever languaging you use, just don't dive into every little detail of the testing and all of that. If they ask for more, they're super science brain and they're like, I heard about all this testing. What is that? By all means, share some of the testing, but don't spend your whole time on this. This is just enough to tell them why doTERRA stands apart from everybody else. So now that you've told them that, your next thing is, okay, so now that I told you a little bit about why I choose doTERRA and why I think it's so important to know the company that you're working with, I want to offer you some of those solutions that we talked about for all those things you just told me you were struggling with. So this is where you're going to tell them solutions for their health goals within the top 10. So you might say, so you let me know that sleep was an issue for you and you're really trying to work with that. So lavender is a really great oil to target sleep. And that's how you're going to frame every single one of the things you relate back to them. I know you said your kiddo struggles with digestive upset in the middle of the night. Digest Zen is a really great oil for supporting digestive health. And that would be a really easy one to just put on his belly at night to help him manage that while he sleeps. So you can do all of that with every single one of those oils because we're here to focus on them. And we're going to do that the whole time until we've gone through what we can go through. And then you're going to say to them at the very end of that, going through all the health goals that you can possibly go through. So I want to tell you how you get started with your essential oils. And then you're going to run them through. Okay, this is the biggest part. You're going to say 3 but I want to say whether it's in you pay words about these. I'm going to start with your oils. So really there's 3 ways you can get them. You can buy them retail, but I'm totally not going to let you do that because I care about you too much. I'm not going to let you do that because the only place that you ever buy retail is in a high-end spa or a doctor's office. So now they know in this one-on-one that you don't buy retail ever because we're not in a doctor's office right now and we are not in a high-end spa. We're sitting at your kitchen table. So there's 3 ways to buy. You can buy them retail, but I'm not going to let you do that. Care about you too much. I don't want you to waste your money. The only time you pay retail is in a doctor's office or a high-end spa. So the second way is standard wholesale. This is just like a Costco membership. I was just in Arkansas. They don't have that. So Sam's Club. So it's just like a Costco or Sam's Club membership. You just pay a membership fee for the year. Every time you make a purchase, it's at wholesale cost. And the third way to buy is below wholesale. This is the only way that I get my oils, and it's the smartest way to do that. So I would love to show you how to do that. And we'll post these scripts for you. But those are the 3 way. We're no longer saying standard wholesale and LRP, which is a loyalty rewards program where you can get 10% back when you first start, and then 15, and then it goes up to 30. And then if you spend 50 PV, you get all these points back and you get your blah, blah. They don't speak doTERRA. It's too much. We need to get away from that because it actually is super intimidating when we say that stuff to people and then they run from it. So we're just going to say below wholesale, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about how to do that when we follow up. So I'm going to tell you a bit about my 2 most favorite kits. We're only sharing 2 kits, not here's a kit sheet and here's 50 things. Even if you still hand out a kit sheet or you use a share success booklet and it has all the kits in the back, you're only highlighting 2. Two, whether you're not 100% closing a Natural Solutions kit or a Home Essentials kit, don't talk about them. Whatever your highest close rate is, those are the two you're going to talk about. So some of you might have Natural Solutions at the top all day long. Some of you might be Family Essentials, Home Essentials. So in the beginning, I would always encourage you to just do Home Essentials, Family Essentials. Because if you sell a Family Essentials kit or you steer them away from getting a Natural Solutions, they get two things, it's still better having a kit to start with. If we don't get a kit in their hands, you guys, we're not helping them. One oil will not help them when they wake up in the middle of the night not being able to sleep. Their Deep Blue and Serenity are not going to help them when they get sick and they need immune support or they have allergies. We want to get a kit into their hands because it is the best way to serve them. So you're going to say, I'm going to tell you two of my favorite kits. There's the Home Essentials kit and there's the Family Essentials kit. One has small bottles, one has big bottles. One's $150, one's $275, and that one comes with a diffuser too. So I would suggest here that you make a recommendation if you're seasoned and comfortable. If not, just ask them, which one of those do you think you want to get started with today? Which one of those do you think you want to get started with today? So if you are seasoned, like if I'm at the end of a one-on-one and I think a Home Essentials is 100% that's for them because they are already interested in sharing some oils and they absolutely could benefit from a diffuser in their life, I will say, based on everything you shared with me today, I think the Home Essentials kit is 100% the best one for you. Do you want to look at that? So you can 100% make a recommendation. If you think Natural Solutions is the best one for them, do it. Recommend it, but be confident in your recommendation. So two kits.
I have a question.
Yes, Jewel.
So like if you want to recommend it, the Home Essentials, is it like that to say, well, I recommend the Home Essentials, you get more oils, plus you have the diffuser, which even if people buy the smaller kit, they end up wanting a diffuser really shortly anyway, so it's a good idea just to get it now.
You can say that. It's a little, right there was a little bit of hesitation. You're almost trying to talk them out of a small one before they said they didn't want it.
I mean, well, yeah, I mean, with the proper timing, of course.
Right. So I would encourage you to just recommend the one you think that's a recommendation and let them say if that's too much for them, if they don't think they need a diffuser, that would be the place where you would bring that in. Okay. But if you think a Home Essentials kit's the best for them, just say that. Based on everything you shared with me today, I 100% think this is the best kit for you. The diffuser will help you hear. You have more oils so that it can go farther. You can share with those people you were talking about sharing with. This is the one I recommend. Okay. And so then if at that point they say, I don't know about the cost or whatever, then we can work with that. If that makes sense. Okay, so then when they say, everybody always enrolls here, they're like, yeah, that's the one I want. You're going to then have them fill out their enrollment form. And this is what you want to do here. You want to schedule your wellness consultation or your follow-up appointment right now. And this is how you're going to say it. You're going to tell them, when you enroll with me, I actually give you a free wellness consultation, which is amazing because I get to show you how to use all of the oils that you just got. So when they get to your house, I'm going to show you how to use everything based on your lifestyle, your family's lifestyle. So you don't have to remember anything I even told you today. We're going to get to go over it again. So why don't we set that up now? Why don't we set that up now? So if you're shadowing somebody, if I go with, let's say I go with Jewel to a one-on-one and it's her contact and I'm helping her close, I might say what's really amazing about this is when you enroll with Jewel, she actually gives you a wellness consultation and she's going to show you how to use all of those oils in your life and your family's lifestyle exactly how you need them. So you don't have to remember anything that we talked about. She's going to show you how to do that. So you want to edify the person you're with. So you always want to schedule your follow-up appointment at your one-on-one. Because how many of us have said, I'll call you to schedule a follow-up, and it never happens. Or you're stalking them. Who wants to be a stalker full-time? I don't want to be a stalker. So we want to make sure, yeah.
Oh,
Oh, you muted yourself, Aish.
I just wanted to add something here that is so critically important because I see so many people enroll someone and never follow up. And if you want to build a strong pipeline, a lasting residual income, if you are working towards that path of freedom and getting to diamond and above, the stability of your business rests on LRP. And when you have a customer who has said yes, you don't stop at the first meeting. I see so many people enroll. Nobody's on loyalty rewards. There's no follow-up appointments, and their business isn't moving forward, and they get burnt out and they get frustrated. So when somebody has said yes, that is your most important asset to take care of. And if you are not willing to do the follow-up work with them to get them into their loyalty reward order, to make sure they know how to use the products, then you're really doing a huge disservice to yourself and to them. And so I just really want to stress how critical this is, and how important it is, and how this is really the bounty of your business. And it's also the fun part of your business, because this is where you get to know people. This is how you build relationships. This is how you find your business builders, is through nurturing the relationships with the people that have said yes and getting those appointments scheduled.
Yes. Perfect. Go ahead, Jill.
So I see here yes, there's so much in the side bar, like Karen Evans is saying, I mentioned that we have me in the wholesale community and a resource forever. Even I usually have TMI'd people with how much great resources they have with us. And I really love learning some of this now, in that following these scripts and kind of less is more in the beginning. And you guys, like, going back, I am going to be going back and studying this. I have the scripts, but studying what Haley is saying. She's saying things a little bit differently. There's some nuances. But really, even talking to them about the resources and all that we have to offer, that's best spoken to in the second appointment. Yeah, and once you're in that LRP and meeting with them, it's that same thing of overselling in the beginning if they're already buying, and then we're like, and we have this, and there's this in our community, and then we're going to do this with you, and you can like have a video every single night of your life with us, you know.
Yes, so true.
So keeping it down to, and we will give you these, there's the scripts, as Diane wrote in here, and Haley, you have a truncated version of, these are two of Elise Sedevy's clothes, the three ways, there's 3 ways to buy. And then because you're investing in your health, i.e. they're buying a kit, I want to invest in you. I'm going to come home. This is the setup of the appointment, letting them know you don't have to remember all this tonight. We're going to be going, I know you probably, it's a lot. We're going to be going over this, and I'm going to help you to learn how to use the oils that you've just purchased for your family, morning, afternoon, and evening. And we're going to go over this.
Perfect.
So yeah, sorry. So that this idea, you guys, of less is more, and really metering out what we are, how much we're sharing in each of these early stages, is kind of the some of what we're learning and finding it to be so effective.
Yes.
Haley, I'm wondering if you could go over very quickly your script, or just what you say again about the family essentials and the home essentials.
Sure.
Because you say it very simply, even more simply than I've ever said it, or I see that even in Emerge, where it's the big bottles, the little bottles, the diffuser, and then it's basically 1/3 the price.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So basically that's all I say between those two. I did want to caveat off of what you had just said, though. Yes, less is more. We basically want to always be giving somebody a trailer so that they want to watch the movie. We just give them the movie every single time we see them. They're like, why do I need to meet with you? You just told me everything, and I'm a little overwhelmed with it. So we just want to keep giving them the next thing that we're going to do with them. So yes, all of those resources, all of that's super valuable, but it will come at the follow-up appointment, which we'll learn how to do. And what Diane posted in the chat is perfect. Because you're investing in you, I'm gonna also invest in you, that version of that. So I actually schedule a wellness consultation with you, and then we go into that and setting it up. So what I say when I say those 2 popular kits to review for you, Joe, is I say, so it's just a matter of big bottles or little bottles. One of them has 80 drops, the other has 250 drops. One's $150, one's $275, and it has a diffuser. It's actually 3 times the amount of oils as the other one. Which one of those would you like to get started with today? And so it's really kind of easy for people to see the difference, that it's not a ton of money. So if somebody ever comes into a financial block with you, you can work with your mentor on that. But I'll give you a real quick example that I always give. When most people will say, well, $150 is a lot for some people, or $275 is too much, so they go towards the $150. I want you to have this example in the back of your head. If I drove to your house right now with your dream car, let's say it's 500 grand, dream car, and I said that you can have this pink slip right here, done, out the door, no payments, it's already paid for $275. You think you'd find $275? Because you see the value in that car. So as long as we're selling the value and we're selling the solution, people will invest. My next question is, if somebody tells you this, I want you guys to have this written down because it's a really great question. If somebody tells you that $150 is too much to spend or $275 is too much, which is okay for them to say, we don't know what their financial situation is, this is your question. Just so I know that what I'm working with, can you let me know how much you're willing to invest in your family's health and wellness and your own health and wellness? Because we want to know how we can best support them. So I need to know what kind of budget I'm working with. So if I ask somebody that, so just so that I know what we're working with, how much are you willing to invest in your health and wellness and your family's health and wellness? And I'm telling you, if at this point somebody says $35 all I'm willing to invest in my health and wellness, it's really hard for that to come out of your mouth. So they're realizing the value just in that question. Just so that I know what I'm working with, how much are you willing to invest in your health and wellness and your family's health and wellness? That way I can help you find the best things for you. Give me a number. And that will really make it real for people. We want this to be real. We're not here to take your money or sell you this huge thing that's not going to be of value to you. We're here to help you find solutions for your health and wellness and help your family. So now you basically have your entire baseline for how to do your one-on-one and exactly how it's going to go every single time. So Carissa, are you on the call? Yes.
Sorry, before we go. Oh, I just wanted, I was looking at Sheila's question about the kits and saying it was kind of like, depending on what people need, can we just go to any kit? And I just wanted to reiterate, Sheila, what is advised is when you are beginning or teaching someone beginning, is that you really help them to get confident and secure with the script and doing one-on-one and just working with these 2 kits in the beginning. So it's kind of like learn the basics, get very comfortable with the process, and work with these 2 kits, the Family Essentials and the Home Essentials first. And then as you get better skills and you are able to work with who's in front of you and negotiate a little bit within the gray, and then you can work into the higher kits. Is that correct, Haley?
Yes. So if you're closing a Natural Solutions kit every time, go for it. Talk about that one, but only ever talk about 2. And so in the beginning, for the purpose of duplication, all your new leaders are not going to feel fully comfortable talking about a Natural Solutions kit and actually closing with it. So the 2 best ones to start with are just those 2, Home Essentials and Family Essentials, because they are basic ones to target all of your major health goals. So we really want somebody to be equipped with that when they start out with their oils. And then they're also equipped to share with people with those top 10. So it's really good. So I'm actually going to have, Diane, will you play along with me for 1 second? Because you're the master.
Oh, brother, I don't know about that.
So how about we do a one-on-one? I'll be the person who is meeting you. And I'm just going to give you 3 health goals and concerns if you just want to role play a one-on-one with me.
Sure. Do the best we can.
Okay.
So we're starting at the beginning of our appointment. Is that what's happening?
Exactly.
Hey, Haley, thanks for meeting today. I'm so excited to learn a little bit more about you and see how I can support you. So today, just to reiterate, I chatted about this today, just wanted to let you know how this is going to go down. I got about 30, 40 minutes, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to share a little bit about why I work at doTERRA, want to know about your biggest health goals and concerns, and then I'm going to share some of my favorite kits, and there's no obligation to buy. But if there's something that interests you, I will certainly help you get the best value. How's that sound?
It sounds awesome.
Cool. All right, great. So some of the do you recommend starting with doTERRA? Why I work with doTERRA?
Always health goals first.
Health goes first. Okay, cool.
Yep.
All right, so I would love to hear about some of your biggest health concerns and goals.
Okay, so I want you to go back and ask that one question.
What are your biggest health goals and concerns?
What are we working on?
What are we working on?
You got it. Okay.
What are we working on?
What are we working on? Okay.
Awesome. Thank you.
I actually have super bad indigestion all the time. I get headaches almost every single day. And I kind of want to lose like 10 pounds.
Great. What else?
I guess I have some respiratory stuff. I get allergy issues sometimes. I get sick when I'm around kids, so maybe my immune system's kind of in a funk.
Mm-hmm. Great. Great. What else is going on? What else can we work on?
I think that's all for now.
So you mentioned some things about your family. What is there ways that we can work, help support them as well?
Oh yeah, actually, my husband actually has a really hard time sleeping at night. He just can't go to sleep, stay asleep. So that's kind of one of his things.
Great.
And what do I do for grouchy kids? I have like grouchy kids.
Grouchy kid. We definitely have an oil for that. Great. What else?
I think I'd like to just start with those.
All right, cool. Great. So I wanted to share a little bit about why I work with doTERRA specifically. I have found over time that doTERRA has the purest and most therapeutically potent oils on the market today. And that's been really important for me because, my reputation's online, so I want to make sure that you're getting the best oils available. Also, the way they source their oils and is really important because we're working directly with the growers, paying them fair wages, changing their communities, and we cut out the middleman. So we make sure that we have control over what's going on with the oil. So again, therapeutically potent and pure and fair wages. So those are really important for me.
Yeah, it sounds like it's really important to make sure that they're really good oils.
Yeah, exactly. So, and then you want me to talk about the oil?
Now you go into the solutions. So now that I've shared with you why I choose doTERRA and why they're the most therapeutic and the best oils, I want to offer you some solutions for those things we just talked about that you're wanting to work on. Does that sound good?
Transition line. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah. So then we'd go over the oils. I don't know how far you want me to go with this.
Give me one thing for three things. One oil for three concerns.
Okay, great. So I have found that peppermint works really well. You mentioned that you have some issues with ongoing headaches. So I have found that peppermint has been a really great solution for many of my family and my friends and for myself. So it's great to support you with your headaches.
Okay, I'm going to pause you for 1 second.
Sure.
We want to avoid sharing our story because we just kind of took it away from them and how we're going to help them about us. So if we want to tell a story about us, stop yourself, take a breath, and just focus on them. Peppermint is amazing for headaches. It's one that would be really great for you to have in your family to manage that.
Love it.
So if we take it away every time about, I love peppermint for all these things, it is a valuable story, but they're thinking, wait a second, I thought this was about me.
Cool.
And we're kind of selfish with that, so we don't want to make it about us. Okay, so go ahead again.
Absolutely. Got it. One of my favorite, not my favorite, I have found the grouchy oil for kids, oil, I can't speak. The grouchy oil that I find works best for kids is lavender. It just tends to just chill them out. So I think you'll have really good results with that. And for your husband's digestive concerns, absolutely hands down, DigestZen is one of the best. He can use it topically or internally, and I'd be happy to share more about that.
That was awesome. That was really good, because they're sitting there thinking, oh my gosh, DigestZen's perfect, I can use it. If in that moment we decided to share a story about how it worked on us, it actually negates the whole thing about them.
Great.
So that was perfect. Go on.
So I wanted to share a little bit about a couple of my favorite kits. And at this point, we've gone over all 10 oils. I love the Home Essentials kit and the Family Essentials kit.
I'm going to pause you really fast.
Okay.
So you want to tell me how to get them first before we get into the kits?
Oh.
3 ways to get them.
Oh, okay, cool. Okay, so there are 3 ways to get kits that are going to support you the best. The first way is retail. I'm not going to let you buy retail because there's no need for you to pay full price, and friends don't buy retail. Second is wholesale. So this is similar to wholesale membership is similar to Costco membership. You pay a small fee, and for the next year, you get all of your oils at a wholesale price. And the third, and what I feel like is one of the best ways to buy the oils and how I purchase my oils is it actually is below wholesale. So I'm not sure what your transition is there.
So that was perfect. I want you to use 2 keywords always in the below wholesale pitch.
Okay.
It is the smartest way, and it is the only way that I get my oils.
The smartest way and the only way I get my oils. Great. Love
Yes.
it. Okay.
So now I want to tell you about 2 of my favorite kits. When you start with a starter package, it targets most of your basic health goals, especially the ones we just went over today. So 2 of my favorites are, go.
The Home Essentials kit and the Family Essentials kit. Here's the cool thing. They both come with the same 10 oils we talked about today. The only difference is one is smaller bottles and one is bigger bottles. So with the Home Essentials kit, you actually get 3 times the amount of oils plus a diffuser. So which of the kits do you feel will work best for you today?
That was great. So you can expand on that and say price, one's $150, one's $275. You can hold up bottles. You can do any of those things. If at any point, it's possible that when you're doing your one-on-one, you don't go over all top 10. You might go over 6 of the 10 or 5 of the 10 or 4 of the 10. But the point is, if you only go over 4, if they start breaking down the price of only 4 plus a membership, same price as a kit.
Yeah.
So if they at this point say, you know, I actually just want those 4 oils that you told me would be really good.
Yeah.
You can say, great, let's break down those prices. You write it out and you're like, for $10 more, you get all 10.
Yeah.
So it's a really good way to do that.
I do like to say, because I've just been sharing those 2 kits, and it's been working really wonderfully. And I usually say, here's why I like the Home Essentials kit, and you can give me your feedback, Haley. You're actually getting 3 times the amount of oils. I feel like it's a much better value for you, and I'd be remiss if I didn't share this with you. You're getting 3 times the amount of oils plus a diffuser for much less than I forget exactly how I say it, but for a much better value.
Yeah.
It would, I always say, like, if you took 150 times 3, and then it would be, $450, where are you getting this for $275 plus the cost of a diffuser?
Right. Really great. All great things to say. And so when they pick the kit that they want, then you just walk them through that. So there's a really good question too. Why do we bring oils to an appointment? So at this point, when we're going through their solutions, we're actually pulling out oils at this point. So if you say lavender is a really great one for your kiddo who needs some grouchy help, here's the lavender, and you can hand it to them. So my point in selling the destination and not the airplane is the oils, the top 10 are great to bring with you to your class so they can have an oil experience, obviously, or to a one-on-one so they can have an experience, but it's not necessary to get them to start with oils in their life. So it's good to bring to your one-on-ones, to your classes, to all of that, but you don't have to have it, is my point, which is why you can do virtual online one-on-ones and things like that. It's not the make or break for somebody to get oils into their life, if that makes sense. I should go.
Thank you, Haley. I also just want to add that, we have some bad background noise coming in somewhere. Okay, hold on, Jose, I'm going to mute you. That if you only cover, like say there's really only 3 oils that are applying, you could take a few moments, this is something Tasha does, and say, there's some other oils that your family should really have on hand, and I'd love to review some of those with you. And one example she gives is lemon, for instance. And she says, when you get something sticky on a surface, you can use lemon to clean that right up. On Guard is a wonderful oil to have your family take a little bit every day to keep your immune system strong, so you keep your family protected from colds and flus. And so you can give different oils a bullet point. You don't need to go on and on, but kind of give them a general bullet point. And if you're new and you're not sure about what all the oils do, this is a perfect time where you can actually, again, just look and see what the family physician's kit says in the kit itself. And you could, read some of those so they see the value in purchasing the entire kit. And one more thing I want to add. If you do have the kit there, you don't need to have them smell every single oil. Like Melaleuca, it's not the best smelling oil. Oregano, it's pretty strong. So have them smell the lemon or the lavender and just, a couple, the peppermint. Sometimes I like to have people actually inhale the peppermint or put a little bit on their tongue. But also monitor them. If they're like, oh, wow, that's really strong, and they're getting overwhelmed, then stop and don't share any more with them. If they're really into it and digging it and wanting to open all the bottles, kind of take their lead on how they're responding to the scents and the experience with the oils.
Yes, having them have an experience.
Okay.
Perfect. Thank you, Diane, for that role play. That was awesome. So
that was so great. Oh, can I? Yeah, I know we're getting close. One thing that Elise Sedevi taught too is, if at the end of all this or at the end of a class, people are saying, well, I'm not sure I want the kit, I just want to buy 1 bottle, right? That does not serve them well, and it does not serve anyone well. So if they're still like defaulting to that, what she suggests that you do is say, I just really would not want you to buy retail. Let me give you a sample of that. So let's say it's On Guard or Serenity. I'm going to give you a sample, and let's follow up in 3 days. So she recommends just going and giving them that sample that they'll use a little bit of, and then following up again with them.
Great way to effectively sample.
Yes. And I guess we're close to the end, but at the end, there was a question about, do we just bring a picture of the kits, what have you? And Aisha, will we post that on the website with the Emerge training videos that we have? It's a little hard to find, so I think that would be great to repost. Here in the feed is a document that Erin and Gabe made up that is literally just 1 piece of paper that you can print out from your printer, and it's the basic information that someone needs to fill out. It's not a form, it's their name for an account, and it has a picture of the Home Essentials kit and the Family Essentials kit with the price, and that's it. It's all on 1 piece of paper, and that's what you bring with your notebook and your oils.
Yeah, that'd be great if you can post it. And if you don't have access to that, or you don't have it, you can just bring your kit form and just highlight 2 of them.
Yeah, and I will add that we, on our essentialwellness.life website, the password for that website is success. We have a training that says Emerge, and we have a training that says Elise Sedevi. And on the Emerge training, there is a Google Doc also with all these scripts, and that's where that form lives. So in time, if you're not sure where to find it, they will always be living there. And a lot of what we're talking about, if you want to review videos to really, get this into your psyche, we have some really short videos of role playing and examples and these scripts for your kind of further and continuing education.
Awesome. So, Aish, did you say that there's a video available for how to invite to a class that you guys did?
Yeah, we have a webinar and we are going to go over, if we have time, we're going to go over the scripting now, but it also is in webinar form.
Perfect. I would love for you to go over the scripting now. So that now that you guys have how to effectively sample and you have access to the webinar, which we'll post in our Facebook group, so you can go check that out. But you now know how to do your one-on-one. So I'm going to give you your homework after they finish, but you now how to do your one-on-one. And we're going to now give you the scripting for how to invite to a class, because I know some people lean away from one-on-ones, or they want us to have a class right away, or that's what they're looking for. And the scripting is a little bit different for a class. So Jose and Aisha are going to take you through that real fast.
Okay,
and then I'll give you your homework assignments for tonight.
Okay, perfect. And just, we're going to have to get on hyper speed here, but there was one question from Zindi. And the question is, sometimes I feel that once someone buys a kit and you see them a month later or casually see them, they give you that, oh, great, she's going to talk about oils look. How do I overcome that? And I just wanted to address that really quickly because I'm sure we've all experienced that. But one thing is, the more confident you are in that business, in this business, and the more you do this, the less you may experience that, because oftentimes it's really easy for us to project our insecurities onto others, and we think we know what they're thinking when we actually don't. So I wouldn't assume that you know what that look is about, more so than it might just be touching your own insecurities. And if you run into somebody that has that look, it might mean that you actually didn't properly follow up with them or have an ongoing relationship with them, because it would only mean there's something feeling a little out of balance to you. So I would also check in with that. And the third part of how I would answer that question is, you don't need to bring up the oils. You can ask them how they are and have a genuine conversation with them and see if they bring them up. And if they don't, no worries, and just move on with your day. So I hope that helps with that question. And then I'm going to, give me a second to share my screen here.
Let me bring it into perspective. So you guys, we're going to do this. I was given a little pretense and a background for sampling, right? So you can see how a little bit of sampling and then leading right into a one-on-one, but always when you sample one at a time, not expensive oil, and you're going to be asking follow-up connection on the phone call or checking back in. And then that can lead to, well, what I usually do is, right, and set up the one-on-one. If you are in one of the bonus programs, a fast start program, which some people are in this training, that is called 6 Weeks to Elite, then you are gearing up a lot of you're working through your names list very specifically to be sampling them to lead into this inviting, to lead into classes. So the sampling can lead into a one-on or to a class. It really depends on what you're doing. In the 6 Weeks to Elite, you're having 4 classes in what we call a Jumpstart Week, and you're having about 1.5 to 2 weeks of intense sampling to really bring people so that you are having very high 80% or more people coming, to people who you've invited who are actually attending your class, 80% or higher attendance rate, and then 80% or higher enrollment. So this is the reason you are doing this level of sampling, inviting, and moving people towards this, is to get a very effective, you're putting energy out for a class, you have a very effective return. And so this comes from Elise Sedovey. And her idea is that you sample the same thing, simple oil, one at a time, and you want multiple touches. The more times you can have a touch, the better that's going to be for the person by the time they come to your class. They're not deciding whether they want to buy, they already know they want to buy, and they've had a good experience, the sampling. And so then they are giving out testimonials at the class. This is how she has 100% incredible, effective classes. So the idea is you don't invite anyone to a class until they've had a good experience. So this is the background to this. So, and we will give you guys both these webinars. The sampling is about 15 minutes and this inviting one is about 10 minutes. Okay, let's go, Aish.
Okay, and we're going to see if we can get through it quicker. So as Josie was saying, and this is also kind of leading you into teaching classes. And the success for teaching a class is to do the prep work, and that does come through the sampling. So people who have had effective sampling come to a class, one, ready to give awesome testimonials, and also ready to make a purchase. And isn't that what we all want? As Josie said, sometimes it's a couple of touches before somebody's ready to buy. So this is kind of priming your guests before they get there. So when they come to your class, they are ready to buy. So Elise Sudovy.
Okay, yeah.
Go ahead.
You guys can watch this, because we only have 5 minutes, so let's go quicker, right? Definitely take the time to watch the webinar. Aisha and I are just going to hit on some highlights.
Okay, I just want to let them know where this is coming from, and then I'll give it over to you, Joe. So Elise Sudovy and Laura Jacobs actually spent a lot of money doing market research on these exact scripts and their effectiveness that we are giving you, and they're proven to work. So these are really important to take note of. So we're going to go over the sequence of effective inviting, which is the sampling experience, the inviting, calling 2 days before the class, and then texting 2 hours before the class.
So wait, can you go back, Aisha? I want to just say quickly. So she says you only want to have a class stacked with people who've had positive experiences. So if you have someone where you've gone through, and we have the scripting with this in the sampling, where they either don't take the oil at first, or it takes a couple more touches to get them to try it, because that's one of the big issues. People actually don't use the samples you give them. That's the follow-up with the scripts. The other one is they might not have a good experience, and you need to get them a different oil. But if someone has not had a good experience, she doesn't invite them to the class. She follows up with a one-on-one. She doesn't want people who've had not positive experiences at her class. Okay? Does that make sense? Those people, you do a one-on-one. The other thing of calling 2 days before and texting 2 hours before, again, tried and true in the field. She's tried everything. She's texted 3 hours before, 4 hours, different times, and seen what works. So, and she's done texting, calling different ways. So it's very specific, the timing and the mode. So when we call 2 days before, it doesn't mean text 2 days before. It's you call, and there's a script, and it's very simple for that. And then when it's text 2 hours before, it's text, not call, and it's 2 hours, not 3 or 4 hours. So she's actually very precise about that, and the results that it brings.
Okay. You jumped ahead a little bit on us.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I'm just going to review a little bit of the scripting. We have this in a more probably succinct way in the webinar, but for the sake of time, I just want to point a couple things out to you. So in the script, when you're calling 2 days before, you want to say, I am so excited for that you're coming Thursday. I can't wait, just calling to say that I'm looking forward to it. You do not want to ask if they are coming. You just want to assume that they're coming, because you do not want to ask. You don't want to give them an out. And she pointed out that class attendance drops from 80 to 30% if you miss this step. So this is what you do 2 days before. And then the big point here is that people actually decide whether they're coming to your event 2 hours before an event. And I've been noticing this in my own behavior, where someone will invite me to something. I'm like, yeah, I'll totally come. And then the day of, or 2 hours before, I'm like, oh, I'm really tired, I'm going to stay home. So that's when people really decide where they are showing up or not. And this is really important for you to know. And this is when you text them, or you have your hostess text them, and you say, I am excited to see you tonight. I have a surprise for you. Come and find out what your surprise is, or, whatever. But the point is,
no, if they text you back, what? What's my surprise?
Yeah.
Your response is come to find out.
Yes, thank you.
That's only your response.
So the key is I'm excited to see you, and I have a surprise for you. And the surprise can be anything. It can be a bottle of wild orange. It could be a sample. It can be anything. But if somebody knows that you have something for them, oftentimes it's going to get them out of their house to come see you. And then 20% always is a given rule, are not going to show up. So you want to treat this like a big deal. And if they say they were going to come and they don't show up, you want to send them a text. Oh my gosh, are you okay? Please text me and let me know you're okay. Because you thought they were coming. They didn't come. You want to check in to see if they're okay. So you want to treat it like a big deal that they didn't show up. And then you can say, you know what? This information is so important. I think you're going to love it. I'd love to come over and give you a one-on-one. Okay, so that's how you can move through some of those transitions. And as simple as this is so simple, but this could be a game changer to really fill your classes and the success in your classes. And again, I will post this webinar so you can review these scripts and information. Anything else you want to add right now, Jose?
No, great.
Okay, perfect.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. So I hope that was helpful for everyone. Now we kind of have a little bit of a format for how we can invite to a class. You know how to do your one-on-ones. So I've posted in the chat what our homework is, because we're kind of out of time and I really value your time and everybody's showing up and being here. So we're going to post this in the Facebook group as well, but it's essentially you're going to be doing 2 one-on-ones before our next call. If you can't complete 2 one-on-ones, you need to do 2 practice one-on-ones, whether that's with somebody in this group or somebody that you don't know. And what's really cool with this, you guys, it's actually rad. I had recently scheduled a practice appointment with my cousin who has already told me she has absolutely no interest in using oils ever. She's like, nope, I don't want anything to do with that. So I said, I'm trying a new system and a new way of having appointments with people. Would you be open to giving me feedback at the end if I did it with you? And of course she's open to that. And I'm not joking. At the end of our appointment, she said, I'm so sorry I never gave you a chance. I want oils. Not even joking. So it's really great if you give somebody a practice like that. It's possible that it might lead to some interest if they haven't even opened at all. So at least do practice with somebody or do your one-on-ones and then invite people to a class. So I've posted all the details there in the chat, but I know we're out of time, so we'll post it also in the group. And if you guys have any questions, please post them, because we are here as a resource to you to answer those questions. So if you feel stuck or you feel like you don't get it, that's normal and good. Ask questions. Ask as many as you want. So I'm really grateful that all of you are here again today, and thank you so much for spending with us and role playing. I loved it. So we'll see you guys, I guess, in 2 weeks, because convention is next week.
Yay, thanks everyone. Yes,
All right.
There is no class next week. It's we're skipping next week for those of you that aren't at convention, and we'll see you all after convention. So have a great
teams to do all of that homework.
Yep, exactly. And if you did not complete this week, this will give you some time to get totally caught up. So super excited for all of you. Can't wait to see you all in person, and have a great day, everyone.
Perfect.
Thank you all.